Hey everybody, we are here. We are live. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Thank you very much for jumping on here with us. We've got Jason Arends coming in today. We're going to have a great conversation about his real estate career, his business, and where he's taking it here over the next couple of years. Got some exciting things going on. So let's do it. Jason.
Hey, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you.
Good. It is good to have you on here. I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy out there.
Glad to be here.
Running all over the place. So tell everybody a little bit about your story. Tell your background here. You've been in real estate for a few years. Just talk about what led to that and some other things. Share your story with everybody.
Okay. Well, I don't want to go too far back. We'll start with my life in Colorado. I moved here about 25 years ago. Made a good living in the car business. I was a manager at Toyota, and then I left Toyota and opened a few stores of my own. I had 3 stores in town. Business was good. Between in 2008, car sales got difficult, so I kind of switched gears and started wholesaling inventory to bigger dealerships, and that kind of got me through 2008. I mean, it was actually I was thriving. It was pretty good in 2008, and another wholesaling was nice because instead of working a lot of hours at dealerships, I was able to kind of work my own schedule and supply inventory for other dealers. And then I was approached by a dealer a couple times that talked me into being a general manager at one of their stores. And, I really liked their outfit and their company. So I ended up doing that for a few years. And then while I was working at the car dealerships, it was always a challenge to find the work-life balance.
Right.
And, I miss my kids' sports and, wasn't really there for anything. And so my goal is, okay, I need to make enough money to not work anymore. And so then I'm really grinding it out, not spending any time with my family.
Right.
Then really what did it for me, I caught myself in a showroom at a dealership that I was running, and I'm looking at my phone and I'm watching a video of my son's first and only piano recital. And when I looked at that, I felt like a deadbeat dad on an after school special. It was terrible. I mean, I see my son and I can tell he's nervous, and he's on this big stage playing on the piano, and not a whole lot of people in the audience, but I really felt at that point that was life changing. I felt that I was doing something wrong. And so I kind of reassessed my life, and about 4 days later I was unemployed. So I left the car business.
Okay.
And car business was great to me and my family for years. It put me in a really good position. Put me in a good enough position to take a year off work and do a little soul searching. I took the family on a nice long vacation in Mexico, trying to kind of recharge and, get my head wrapped around what really matters. And my wife mentioned to me, about 8 months into it, I'm kind of feeling like a bum at that point. And, I'm talking to my wife about, what I should do for in the future. And she said, well, what about real estate? And, I said, well, that's perfect. You nailed it. So I just figured I could have more time, or at least control my schedule better, and or have some control over my schedule, and make the kind of money that I'm accustomed to making, and have a good life. So I immediately started real estate school, got my license, and when I got my license, I was just I was kind of, I wanted to be careful and make the right decision. So I ended up hanging my license at, one of the best companies in town that I felt. And I worked with another brokerage with a mentor for about a year. And then I kind of changed programs, stayed with that company for another year. And then after 2 years, I just, being an entrepreneur and I'm used to working for myself, I opened my own brokerage. I bought a nice office building right on Academy, busy street, and bought an office building, renovated the office building, and then kind of started developing my team. Brought in a couple really good agents from around town, hired an assistant, and just things are good. Things are going really smooth. Life is good. Well, I got to the point where I'm just running all day, and fortunately, I've always kind of focused on my relationships in my business, and I've always kind of done right by my clients and done the best job I can for everyone. And for that, I kind of got to the point where it's starting to remind me of the car business. I'm working every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm working 7 days a week, showing houses all the time. It's just, it got to the point where I'm like, okay, why did I get into real estate again? And I mean, life is good. You can't complain, but that's kind of my career for the last 25 years in a nutshell.
And how long ago was it when you got your license? How long you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate for maybe a little over 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 years with another company, good company here in town. Then you started your own thing 2 years ago. Ascent Properties, right?
Yeah. Ascent Property Brokers is my company.
Okay. How many agents do you have working with you there at Ascent?
9. So there's 9 agents with Ascent Property Brokers.
Okay.
A couple agents in Georgia, an agent in Florida.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of spread out.
You're licensed in Georgia also?
I'm licensed in Georgia also.
Okay. I got you. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. We'll come back to the time thing. How old are you? How old are your kids? How many kids do you have?
My son Colton's 13 and my daughter Brooke is 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can, and I think there's people on here I know watching this who can relate to that whole idea. Just man, like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm working all these crazy hours and stuff. We'll come back to that. Let me ask you real quick, because we're wrapping up the year. It's been a crazy few years in real estate, just all across the country. A lot of people have gotten their licenses. There's a lot of new agents out there. Unfortunately, the lifespan of most agents is, less than a couple of years, and that, whatever. But I think most people just, they think, oh, I can be my own boss. Like, I run my own business, run my life and all that kind of stuff. But then they don't, if they were their boss, they'd have fired them many times over because they're not doing it. Right. What would you say right now? We're coming into the end of the year. Things are slowing down a little bit, whatever. Like the new agents, they've just been around for a year or two. What should they be doing right now to get ready for 2022? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to enjoy the holidays. Honestly, I would say enjoy your time, enjoy time with your family. Real estate is a lifestyle. It's not. You don't really talk anyone into buying or selling a house. I mean, you basically just let them know that you're available, and you let how you treat people and how you respect people. You let that be your marketing. I mean, if you see an opportunity to do something good for somebody, do it. If you see, I still, even dressed like this, I'll pull over on the side of the road and help a single lady change her tire, I just, if there's anything you can do to help people, help them. And if that's in your heart, if it's in your character, do that. If it's not, then I'd recommend you don't be a realtor. The way I look at real estate, it's the best job in the world, but it's really something it's something to enjoy. It's an honor to be a realtor because basically you're helping people build financial freedom. You're helping people make their dreams come true. Everything you do, whether it's selling a home and getting the maximum value for that home and making the process very smooth for that person, or if you're getting someone into their first home, or if you're helping an investor get an investment property in this difficult, crazy market, it takes a lot of forward thinking and thinking outside the box to be successful. But if your heart's in the right place, that'll show through. And if you truly care about what you're doing and you honor and take care of your relationships, the world will pay you back. It'll pay you back. So, I mean, my recommendation for new agents is don't get stressed out. Look around, and how can you help the people around you be successful in real estate? Again, whether they're investors or buying or selling. But if you hone in your skills, you can best help make everyone around you successful, and everyone around them is going to hear about it. And it doesn't stop. It's a beautiful cycle. And all you're doing is enjoying your life and having fun and doing the best job you can for everyone around you.
For sure. That's awesome. I know you and I have talked before. I know you like to read. I like to read. I've got, it's hard to see here, but behind, all these, both sides of my office here, bookcases, I'm out of room, books falling everywhere. But what would, I don't know, 4 or 5 of the best books that you could recommend even to some agents? Again, it's going to slow down a little bit over the holidays. I mean, what would be some good things that they could do to, be prepared a little bit to grow themselves? It's a personal development is so key in this business. I think, taking yourself up. Well, what are some things you recommend there?
I always recommend, and my son read this book, but the first book I always recommend to someone that's interested in helping themselves is The Richest Man in Babylon. And it's a simple book. I mean, the whole book's like that thick. I think it's like 150 pages. I mean, you can read it in 1 or 2 settings. Yeah. The words are big. It's almost like a pamphlet. But it just teaches about the fundamentals and the basics of money. Live within your means, put money aside, and use the money that you put aside to make more money. And that's kind of the rules of real estate.
Right.
I mean, I'll never forget a buddy of mine that's in the business. Mike McGuire told me right when I got into real estate, he said, "Jason, you're never going to get rich selling real estate." And I was kind of cracked when he said that. I'm like, well, that's the goal, right? And he said, yeah, you won't get rich selling real estate, but you'll get rich buying real estate, And I mean, that was on the money, I'll always remember that. But without living within your means and not spending every dime you make, it gives you a cushion to take advantage of opportunities that show up. So yeah, I like The Richest Man in Babylon.
Excellent.
For new readers, for young readers, it just teaches you the basics about money. Maybe you buy your first home.
The first broker I ever worked with, my first day in the office, and he gave me a copy of Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah,
Napoleon Hill. And again, just classic book. I remember it kind of sat here on my shelf for a while, and I'm like, I got to read this book, and because then I kept hearing about it. I read something. I think it was like in Entrepreneur Magazine or Forbes Magazine, something. But it was like had like the top, the 100 richest people in the world, and here's all the things they have in common. It was like 87 of them or something had read that book at least once. I'm like, okay, I got to read this book. Whatever. So no, there's a lot of gold out there for sure. So and it's a great time to kind of do that a little bit, really work on yourself. I think over these next couple of months, as we gear up for the holidays. Let's go back for a minute. You mentioned the thing with your kids, because I've been through that as well. Been in the business now for 20 years, and we've had a great business and a good run. And I definitely had those times where it was like, oh my gosh, my kids are like, Dad, oh, that's right. I have kids. My wife has to reintroduce me because I'm just going,
right.
Crazy hours. Talk about, I know you've told me before, you were at a Broncos game, or you've been to a Broncos game, and with your son, and when,
Yeah, I was, probably the last Broncos game I went to, I brought my son with me, and, we're all excited about the game. And it was, me, my son, and my brother-in-law, Jeff, and we're at the game. And I had just, again, in this crazy market, it's not where you just run an offer across the table and cross your fingers anymore. Mm-hmm. Now it's, you got to build that relationship with the agent on the other side. You got to make yourself stand out. You can't just email an offer and cross your fingers. It's basically, you've got to, give the agent that's listing the property a little bit of yourself, and you've got to earn the trust and respect that, hey, everything's going to go smooth here. There's not going to be any surprises. I know we've got competing offers here. Here's my offer. Can you please keep me in the loop and keep me in the game if it starts to go south for me? Right. And because of that, the last Broncos game I'm at, I'm, working a deal, and it's hard to find that because, I'm with my son, I'm at a Broncos game, and the whole time I'm either on my phone or I'm, walking away from my seat to negotiate with another agent where I'm competing. I'm in the second place here, and how do I get into spot number one? So, I'm going back and forth. I'm talking to the agent's talking to their client, the agent's talking to their client, he's talking to the other realtor, and we're going back and forth. Before you know it, the game's over. And my son, he was a little disappointed. It's like, well, I thought we were going to a Broncos game. We were there, but he didn't get any of my attention.
You weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there, and that really hits hard to me.
That's hard. And I know, and I've been there. I remember. I tell the story a lot. We took our kids. They were 10 and 8. We took our kids to Disney World, and they had the time of their lives. I mean, it was like a 10-day trip, and we stayed at the best place down there, and all the stuff that we did, all the passes and everything.
Yeah.
But I remember 4 days sending my wife to the park with the kids. I'll call you when I get there, because I'm in the hotel room on my laptop, putting out fires back here, and dealing with inspection issues and contract issues, and my team's answering their questions and calling back leads and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm not on vacation. I just moved my office to Orlando, and I'm like stressed out of my mind. I see these pictures, and I love that we can be mobile and all that. It's great, but at the same time, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
Those pictures of realtors that post on Facebook, and here's the beach, this beautiful beach, and you got their laptop open on their legs, and so grateful I could work from my office.
Yeah. No, cool. Yeah.
Your kids need you. Your kids need you, because it just, what does that say to them? It's like, that's more important than we are.
Yeah.
This is what it says to especially a little kid. They don't understand that, and it's hard. It's a hard thing to find sometimes in this business when we're all going after the next commission, the next check, and it can be challenging, but man, oh man. So, you start your own brokerage. What made you start your own brokerage? Again, just what you mentioned, entrepreneur, and really wanting to kind of have your own thing. You've been that way for a long time. And now, it took you a while, but you saw eXp. Let's talk about that for a second, because I know, tell that story, because I know you fought it for about a year.
About a year and a half. Yeah. All right. So, my thoughts were, I'll tell you, my thinking behind starting my own brokerage was, I want to capture everything around me, kind of like the mafia. I want to do it all. Right. I want to own the concrete company. I want to own the garbage company. I want to own the electrical company. I want a piece of all of it,
Right.
And there's so much business that rolls through real estate. I have people that, want to do property management. Last brokerage I was at didn't do property management. So that was a lot of why I left, and another reason I left is I like to own the company. I like to be the boss. I like to be able to apply my creativity without running it through a committee. If I have an idea, I want to run with it, or I want to make the decision not to, And so my goal was, okay, I'm going to do commercial. I'm going to do land. I'm going to do property management, but I don't want to do commercial, and I don't want to do land, and I don't want to do property management. So I'm going to start my own brokerage, and I'm going to have a piece of that doing property management. And I'm going to have, the best commercial guys I can find, the best land agents I can find.
Sure.
And we're going to welcome all that business. And then we're going to have professionals that specialize in each of those areas to handle the business. And then I'm just going to stick with doing my residential real estate and investing that I enjoy, because that's fun. I mean, selling real estate is, having a nice lunch and a drink with friends. And, that's what I do for a living,
Appreciate the deals. Yeah.
I enjoy it. But, as I'm doing this, things are getting very complicated. I'm trying to put my focus on the property management. I'm trying to put my focus on finding the right commercial group, and I'm, getting things going in Georgia, and, trying to decide whether or not what I'm going to do with Florida, and it's something that I know about myself. And, my sister, I've done business with my sister, and she's brilliant. She helps me out. And something that she's always told me is, if you focus on one thing, you do a really good job. But when you're spread out and you're trying to do all kinds of other stuff, it's you're average,
You can get your focus.
average doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
So even in the car business, there's two parts of the business. You have wholesale and you got retail. Well, I'm a great wholesaler if I'm wholesaling, and I put up some really big numbers in retail if I'm retailing. But when I'm wholesaling and retailing, I'm just chasing my tail and kind of just staying afloat and paying the bills, and nothing great happens.
Yeah.
And with real estate, I've been trying to put the right things in place. I have a great assistant, Jennifer Lukey. She's, does everything I need. And she's does things that I need before I know I need it. I've got a great transaction management team in Denver. I've got great agents around me, but I'm still spending more time in my office trying to figure out how I'm gonna run my business and how I'm gonna do things and how I'm gonna take to the next level. So back to eXp. I've been talking to you for about a year. I've been talking to Gary Jordan for about a year and a half. Gary presented eXp, and of course I talked to Remax and Keller Williams and every real estate company in town. They look at your numbers and they say, well, you'd be a good asset for our team. And I usually do meet for coffee, even now, if someone from another team wants to meet for coffee and kind of talk about, what they have to offer. Sometimes I try to talk them into joining me instead of me joining them. I've met with agents that even before eXp that would say, well, maybe I should just go work with you.
Yeah.
But really when I really started thinking about eXp was the different revenue streams, because I've always felt like, all right, when I stop working, I need to have this huge pile of money to be able to take advantage of opportunities. And, at some point I got to keep going and keep going and keep going. And for some reason, that huge pile of money never comes. I just find myself working more and upping my standard of living a little bit, instead of, just having this huge pile of retirement income. Now I invest in real estate, that helps, but to be where I want to be, everything that eXp does, it started making sense to me that that's exactly what I need to do. I have other agents wanting to join me all the time. Most of the time I tell them, no, I don't have room. I don't have the capacity. I don't have time to train you. Don't have time to mentor you. And there's been a lot of good agents that I said no to. But now I'm in a position with eXp, I can bring other agents on. eXp trains them. I can choose to mentor them, or they can get a different mentor from eXp. But I can build that company as large as I possibly can without being responsible and without taking any of my time, really.
Yeah.
And in doing that, I know that now they have the opportunity to make more money than they would at any other brokerage anywhere in the country. Another part of it is I've had for a year and a half, I've had eXp agents showing me their stocks, and it's insane,
Yeah.
I mean, they're making six figures in their stocks in their first year and they're not doing anything different. They're not buying stocks. They're not moving their stock portfolio to eXp. They're simply getting awarded stocks for joining eXp. They're getting awarded stocks for bringing other agents on after their first sale. Icon agents are getting awarded $16,000 in stocks in their first year. I mean, I've heard stories about eXp agents getting $16,000 worth of stocks 5 years ago, and now those same exact stock, those $16,000 worth of stocks is now worth $1.5 million.
Yep. We just to share that, guys, we heard that. Well, last week, because we were at the convention in Las Vegas, and I talked to a lady. I mean, she's been here for 5 years. She, if you become an Icon agent with eXp, so you cap and do an additional 20 deals, which in this market is about 25 deals total, roughly. at our prices. And again, it's going to vary across the country, different price ranges. But when you icon, you get all of your cap that you gave the eXp back in the form of stock. And some people go, well, stock, whatever, and all this stuff. I'm like, no, hold on a minute. Like Sherry, who got her stock back 5 years ago, $16,000 worth. That stock today, just that 16,000 is worth 1.5 million. I mean, how crazy is that? Like, that's a nice bonus to be building up on the side of your real estate,
Can you share what her total is now?
Well, yeah. So she's been here for 5 years. She's done that every year. So got her 16,000 back, every year. You can buy stock at a discount at closing if you want to. Take a little piece of your commission and buy some stock. That's optional. You don't have to do that. Most agents are. Her total stock is just under $9 million now. Like, it's, I was with an agent here a while back, and I forget what company they're with. I don't know, Coldwell Banker, Remax, or something. But what if the stock goes to $1? Well, then I guess I'm a Remax agent. Well, what do you mean? Well, how much are they giving you? You know what I mean? And I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. It's stock. It could do anything. I get that. But man, it's a nice bonus. And the forecast is nothing but good. I mean, it's just, we're just getting started with this whole deal. It's crazy. So that could be a big plus for you. Well, let me ask you, and I know it took you a year and a half, just wrestling with this thing. And, about a month ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever, you made the move over here. So it's still Ascent Property Brokers. You still, you kept your name, right? So
I'm Ascent Properties, brokered by eXp.
There you go. Okay. Yeah.
Everyone still knows who I am. Yeah.
You keep your brand, you keep your sign, whatever. We added eXp on there, which I saw your proof on that. That's going to be fun to see that out there. But, what would you say to a broker owner? There's broker owners all across the country, independents and stuff. What are the different ones? What would you say to a broker owner who hasn't looked at this yet? And they're like this, I got my own thing, I'm at 100%, there's no way you can beat that. I got my brand. I worked years on building that brand. Like, what would you say to that broker owner out there, when it comes to eXp?
Yeah. Well, honestly, for me, and I'm a good example because, I've got a successful brokerage. I'm making enough money just on my agent splits to pay all my overhead and even pay me a little bit. Pay off my office building. I mean, I was set up. I was in a really good place, and I've got this company that I take a lot of pride in. I built it from the ground up, and and just the fact that people know who you are. When you call them to make an offer, and they say, "Oh yeah, I've heard of you. I know who you are." I mean, that feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no way out. I mean, there's nothing that's going to change. I mean, I do a real estate transaction. I sell a house, I get paid, and it's on to the next one. Once the year is over, okay, I've made all that money and it was a great year and it was fun. And I built some great relationships and met some new people. But right now I'm unemployed. I don't have any properties under contract and I've got nothing going on, and here we go. Time to start over and get some things going. And as I learned more about eXp, and I was honest, I listened to eXp out of courtesy,
Sure.
Right, Jeff, you want me to go to lunch, coffee, all right, whatever, man. You've got a great reputation. I want to get to know you better. You've put up some pretty huge numbers yourself. I want to, this guy's more successful than me. He needs to be my friend. I need to hang out with this guy. So I'm talking to you, and it's like, what he's telling me about isn't to make his life better. I mean, sure it is, but what he's telling me about is, I bet if he had a newspaper in his hand, he'd be slapping me with it, because all he's trying to do is get me to be open-minded enough to listen that, hey dude, good job, but this is better. Yeah, you've built something cool, good for you, but how about you move over here to the big leagues with eXp, and now you can get paid on revenue share, you can get paid on your stocks, and you can get paid on your everyday real estate transactions. So I've been with the company for a month, basically. I've either already capped or I'm probably a deal away from capping. So I'll be at 100% commission, because a lot of people ask me, why would you go from 100% to 80%? Well, because when I made 100%, I wasn't earning stock options and I wasn't getting paid for agents that I'm getting excited about eXp in any state in the United States and 18 countries around the world. You know, eXp right now has, you know, we're in 18 countries around the world. The prediction for the next 5 years is to be in 50 countries. And to me, that's exciting because I like the Caribbean. And I'm thinking now it's a good excuse for a vacation. You know, it's a good excuse for a write-off. Let me see
Absolutely
how many agents I meet in the swimming pool that I can explain why they'll make more money moving to eXp. You know, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But really for me, it was simplicity. You know, I mean, I've got all these expenses of owning a brokerage. I've got all this responsibility of owning a brokerage. You know, if one of my realtors does something wrong, now I'm in mediation, and it's going to take more time out of my schedule to fix whatever happened. But really, it simplified everything, and I can breathe again. You know, I mean, right after I did it, it's kind of like, wow, I hope I made the right decision. You know, I had a really good thing going on. I'm not one to fix something that's not broken. You know, but then I come to the same office, you know, the same agents that were working on my team now are all, you know, I sponsor them through eXp. They still come to the office. We still bounce ideas off of each other. Nothing has changed there. The only thing that's changed is eXp's on the top of the contracts now.
Yeah.
But
and then all the benefits that come with it.
All the benefits, you know, I'm not paying Sky Slope monthly anymore. That's all included in my eXp fee. My E&O insurance is kind of, you know, I take care of that through you know, eXp. It's so much easier. I just don't have to do anything anymore. It really feels like now I just come to work and I do real estate. You know, I come to work and I find great investment properties for my investors. I'm able to spend more time working with my clients. It's a better quality of life. It's easier.
For sure.
But I've just got so much support around me, and the money's better. You know, it's nice to know that I'm making money when I'm not working, because I'm already there. You know, I'm not making enough money to do everything I need to do, but I mean, I'm getting paid from 3 different ways. You know, I'm getting paid. My stock portfolio is growing really quickly. And the fact that right now we have 68,000 agents. Yeah. 68,000 agents, and in 5 years we're most likely going to have 500,000 agents.
That's going to do to my stock. That's the goal. That's the track we're on. Yeah.
So I think my motivation now is how many stocks can I get in there before they explode again?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, they've been doubling every year since inception.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be excited about. You know, went to eXpCon in Las Vegas, and honestly, I mean, even after I joined eXp, it's like, nothing's different. This is all right. It's cool. But no, it's way different. You know, I'm investing in my future. I mean, everything that I do, I'm getting paid on multiple times, and it's just, it's amazing.
And I think it's key that you're not doing anything different. You're doing exactly what you were doing before, just getting paid in more ways, multiple ways. You know, I think one of the books back here, it might be one of Robert Kiyosaki's books or something, but you know, the average millionaire, 7 streams of income. You know, and most agents that I know, you know, whatever, if they don't have a closing in the next couple, 2-3 months, they're done. They're out of business. I mean, getting a part-time job because they got to pay the bill, whatever. And I get it, you know, but it's just, I think that's what I love about this. I mean, I get accused sometimes, you know, all you do is recruit, you know, whatever. I'm like, I'm passionate about showing realtors because I know what it can do for them. I really am. I just, you know, I've been there. I've been there where we've needed those multiple streams.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a peace of mind about having that. And most agents just don't. I love the mindset of the realtors. I mean, that entrepreneur spirit and being able to live on commissions and, you know, the fear factor, you know, pushing past that to run a business and stuff. Like, I love working with realtors. I love the mindset of realtors.
Absolutely.
You know, but I really am passionate about helping them work smarter. And I feel like that's what this is, a big part of this. It's a way to do what you've been doing. And again, eXp doesn't stop us from doing all the things we want to do. If you want to build a team, build a traditional team. If you want to, you know, open an office and bring agents, you can do that. You can still do all the things you want to do, your goals, but now you add all this into it, the benefits of eXp plus all the tools and training and everything else. It's like, it'll take your business up a notch. It'll take you up a notch, that collaboration. You become who you hang around. You know, best agents literally across the country that are joining. And you know, there's no way it doesn't help you out. But now you look up 3-5 years from now, I've got some options. I don't have to. I don't have to get back on the hamster wheel January 1st. The same way I could if I want to, you know. But now maybe I can pull back a little bit. You know, sometimes I ask that if I could help you replace your commission income with referral income, would that be worth a 30-minute coffee? And we're doing that with people. We're helping people to literally do that, not just a little piece of it, like replace it completely, 100% and more. Like, and we have that opportunity with this model for those that want to do that, you know? So again, it's the options that come with it, but it's great having you here, Jason. Seriously.
It's great being here.
It was great when we got together way back when, but you know, and it's a process, and I understand that process, and but it is great having you on board, and I'm excited for everything that's ahead. We're going to be doing some fun things and some great things, and I think just changing a lot of realtors' lives along the way, which is very, very cool as well. So
yeah.
Anyway, any last thing you want to share before we end it up here?
No, well, just that, you know, I did hesitate. You know, it took me a year and a half to finally pull the trigger because, again, I mean, why fix what's not broken? I mean, I've got a very successful real estate business. I love it. I'm happy. Everything's great. And part of me taking so long to dig into it was not only for me, but is this best for every agent on my team? You know, does this make sense for everyone? Because if I have one person that's not on board on my team, then I'm not doing it. And I know I'm going to lose money and sacrifice a lot. And it's going to cost me to not join eXp. It costs anyone to join eXp that's not joined yet. After learning more and talking to everyone, it made sense for everyone, and everyone's going to make more money. It's going to make everyone more successful.
Right.
But
and I think that's the thing. If I can just share that real quick, Jason, because again, with the broker owners out there who might watch this and, you know, have their walls up a little bit, and I get it because they build. I really genuinely think most of them, 90% of them, they really do care about their agents that they've got working with them. You know, there are some out there that are, you know, let's just bring as many as we can, get enough monthly fees, and we can live a life. You know, I mean, there's some of those out there, but most of them that I've ever met, especially here in Colorado Springs and stuff, I mean, great people, great, you know, what they do genuinely care about their agents. And I tell people, like, you know, just you owe it to your agents. You owe it to yourself to look at this and let's look at it and evaluate it for yourself, because it will take your agents up a notch. They will make more money. They will do more production. They'll get more leads. They'll get more training. They'll get all that stuff. And it's a win for everybody, the broker owner and the agents that you've got in there, when they really, truly wrap their head around it. I think, you know, it's a process of doing that. You know, it took you a year and a half to really dig through that and think that through and working with your agents, but they all came with you. And I think that's, you know, it's a testimony to who you are, their trust and their confidence in you and you as a business guy and running your business. But it's also such a win for all of them to be able to do it and have the same opportunity of ownership that you have with the stocks, you know, and really they could almost build a brokerage within the brokerage, but they're not liable for any of it either, because they can share this with their friends all over the country and in other countries around the world. So
it was the best decision for me and my family. Just bar none, hands down.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm excited.
Well, excited to have you on board. It's gonna be fun. This next couple of years it's gonna be a wild ride. So
it's fun.
Good things happen. Jason, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Guys, thank you very much for taking a look here. We appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you again soon. All right. Bye-bye.
See you, Jeff.
See you.